He had songs in the UK Top 20 while in the band The Herd, and he was only 16 years old. A founding member of Humble Pie, then he launched as a worldwide solo phenomenon with the release of Frampton Comes Alive in 1976. Peter Frampton has been a unique and influential songwriter and guitarist for all of his life. I was really fortunate to get to see him play my one and only time on October 12, 2019 in Concorde, California at his final show in his farewell tour. He played my favorite of his songs, Lines on My Face, in the number 3 position, and closed out with a final encore song, The Beatles' While My Guitar Gently Weeps. In 1970, while touring with Humble Pie and playing a Gibson ES-335, Peter found himself having technical issues with his guitar while playing shows at the famous Fillmore West in San Francisco. A friend lent him the heavily modified black 1954 Gibson Les Paul Custom to play at the next show. Frampton later described the experience of playing that guitar as transformative. At the end of the Fillmore shows, Peter offered to buy the guitar, and instead his friend gave it to him as a gift. The guitar was Peter's primary instrument during his recording and live performances at the peak of his career in the mid-1970s. In 1980, Frampton was on tour in South America. After a show in Caracas, Venezuela, the band flew ahead to their next stop in Panama while their equipment was loaded onto a cargo plane for the same journey. Disaster struck. The cargo plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Caracas, killing the flight crew on board. Reports indicated that the plane and its contents, including Frampton's entire stage setup, were destroyed in the ensuing fire. Peter was saddened by the loss of life. Among the wreckage and burned debris, there was absolutely no trace of the iconic black Les Paul Custom to be found. The lack of any evidence of its survival, combined with the severity of the crash and fire, solidified the belief that the guitar Frampton called his best was gone forever. An unlikely chance of a guitar being dropped off at a luthier for repair, and that guitar tech who had an extensive knowledge of rock history. He knew immediately what he had and made contact with Peter's people. This set the wheels in motion for the guitar almost 30 years later being returned to Peter in Nashville, Tennessee. The guitar that Peter got was inoperable, so Peter took the guitar to the Gibson custom shop for restoration. Necessary repairs including replacing the electronics and tuners and refretting the neck, but the cosmetic damage from the fire, the evidence of its survival, was intentionally left untouched. Restored, not to pristine condition, but to playing health, preserving the marks of its fiery ordeal, now renamed the Phenix, returned to the stage, proving its unique sonic signature remained intact. When I saw Peter play in California, I didn't realize at the time, until I found a photograph recently of him playing that show, that I had actually seen him play the Phenix guitar. I wish I had known at the time. The photo is on the screen now. You can see some finish damage on the body, but especially on the headstock. I think from the photo there is less than half of the finish left on the headstock. So that we could all have an opportunity to feel the way he does, pun intended, Gibson and then Epiphone released signature versions of the Phenix. In 2015, Gibson Custom announced a limited run of the Phenix-inspired Les Paul Custom. In 2021, Gibson officially released a permanent edition, the Phenix Les Paul Custom VOS. The retail for the new guitar goes for about $6,999. Used, the guitar goes for less, but not much. The Gibson guitar is something I will never be able to afford. But then comes my chance. Epiphone released a limited run of only 200 guitars worldwide of the Peter Frampton Les Paul Custom Pro in 2018. Although no longer offered new, the guitar can be found used for $696 to about $1,203. They also released another 900 guitars that came without the case and with the special signed photograph and so on of Peter Frampton. And that's actually the guitar that I think that I ended up with. The Epiphone guitar is described as a limited edition electric guitar inspired by Peter Frampton's one-of-a-kind 1954 Les Paul Custom. It comes with a maple top mahogany construction, weight relief body, ebony fretboard and mahogany neck features Peter's custom Phenix neck profile. Long neck tenon for ultra-long sustain, Grover Rotomatic tuners, ProBucker neck and middle pickups, ceramic Pro bridge pickup yields high output, a gloss black finish, and a hardshell case. Well, not a hardshell case with the 900, but the 200. Without the case, they produced, as I said before, 900 guitars worldwide. My guitar has a standard Epiphone Les Paul case and not the case that's described that came with the 200, so I'm assuming that mine is the larger release. Mine also did not have the COA signed photos and so on. All right, so the guitar with 3 pickups has some unique controls on a Les Paul. So how do I operate the dang controls on this guitar? The 3-way toggle switch doesn't work like a typical 3 pickup Gibson, like an SG Custom. Instead, it functions like this. The toggle switch in the up position and the rhythm position selects the neck pickup only. The controls then use the top volume and top tone knobs to control the neck pickup's output and sound. The middle and bridge pickups are in the off then. Toggle the pickup down into the treble position, and this selects the bridge pickup only. The controls for it then are the bottom volume and bottom tone knobs to control the bridge's pickup output and sound. The neck and middle pickups are in off. Toggle the switch into the middle position. This gives you the neck pickup and the middle pickup combined. The bridge pickup is off in this position. The controls, the top volume and top tone knobs control only the neck pickup, but not the middle pickup. The bottom volume and bottom tone control the middle pickup. In this position, the middle pickup is wired out of phase with the neck pickup. This creates a thinner, brighter, and slightly hollow or quacky tone characteristic of the Frampton sound, especially noticeable when both pickups, neck and middle, are turned up. In summary, the neck only toggle up, use the top knobs. Bridge only toggle down, use the bottom knobs. In the middle position, you get out of phase and use the top knobs for the neck and the bottom knobs for the middle pickup. This setup allows you to get standard Les Paul neck and bridge tones plus Frampton's signature neck and middle out of phase combination sound via the middle toggle position, where you can blend the volumes of the neck and middle pickups using their respective controls. The pickups sound great on this guitar, and I especially like the middle position of the pickup selector switch, where they attest that it is Peter's signature sound of the neck plus middle pickup out of phase. I live in a very dry climate. It only rains here during the short winter time. Then for about 9 months out of the year, there's no rain at all. The humidity here is next to nothing during this period of time. I really have to be careful when I get guitars sent to me from places like Florida. The humidity patterns there throughout the year are the opposite of where I live. When I ran my hands up and down the sides of the fretboard on this guitar, there is major fret sprout. This is not surprising, and to be honest, if there had not been any, I would have been surprised. I did not include the work in this video of me taping the fretboard and the binding on the sides of the neck, and then used my StewMac fret edge file, filed off the extended frets. Afterwards, I used very fine grit sandpaper to smooth them and sand them down so they were smooth to the touch. I'm happy now because there are not any more sharp edges, and it's easy for me actually to play the guitar. I grew up during a period of time when Frampton's music was basically the soundtrack or the backdrop to the era that I lived. Today, I'm really happy that I'm able to have even a facsimile of a part of that history, the guitar that Frampton played to make all of those memorable songs.